The economic crisis will be front and center when U.S. President-elect Barack Obama takes office. That day is less than 2 months away, and he intends to hit the ground running with an economic recovery team. Vivian Hurtado reports we could find out who the main players are tomorrow.
President-elect Barack Obama is set to announce on Monday the architects of his economic rescue plan.
We are facing an economic crisis of historic proportions.
The news that Timothy Geithner is said to be Obama's #1 choice for Treasury Secretary and Lawrence Summers is expected to be his top White House economic advisor is designed to reassure jittery investors and Americans. That's because both men's experience, according to experts, commands respect in the financial community. Then there's the president-elect's economic stimulus plan they will help craft, which has as its center the creation of 2.5 million jobs by 2011.
He wants to put people back to work, repairing bridges, repairing schools, working on those alternative energy projects that are going to make us energy independent. And you know, we'll do what needs to be done to get this economy moving again.
Its scale and price tag, which could reach several $100 billion, according to Obama's advisors, is ambitious. But experts say with an economic slowdown not seen since the Great Depression, turning around the economy may require solutions as big as the crisis.
People don't talk like FDR, they don't look like FDR, but Obama is facing an FDR-type situation.
The economic crisis may also postpone Obama's plan to raise taxes on the wealthy, letting the Bush tax cut expire on schedule at the end of 2010. Political watchers say this may be an attempt to win over Republican support so his rescue plan can be implemented soon after taking office in January. Vivian Hurtado, ABC News, Washington.
And joining us now is Solon Simmons from George Mason University, where he specializes in U.S. politics. Thanks very much for joining us. The latest appointments we are hearing, Bill Richardson as Commerce Secretary and Timothy Geithner as Treasury Secretary. Are these the best men for the jobs?
Well, I think they're quite good, and if you remember Barack Obama's campaign slogan was "Change we can believe in." It seems that he believes that he can handle the change part, and he's going to let his economic team work on belief. And these are quite credible figures. It's remarkable how they're being received on both the left and the right, and they're understood to be the kind of people who will get us through this this transition smoothly. We hear a lot of talk about the Great Depression and the New Deal, and it's not clear what parts of the New Deal we want to bring forward into the 21st century. FDR, who was president at the time, had no real economic philosophy, and he talked about his philosophy as bold, persistent experimentation. This moderation in choosing figures like this seems to be a kind of a moderate, persistent experimentation that Obama's going to implement, and it's getting a lot of people more comfortable. The stock market reacted well, and yet the uncertainties are building as we move along.
How much pressure is on Obama's team to stimulate the economy?
I think it's quite high, and of course he can't do anything right now. There's a sense that this period of weeks that we have to wait until the transition is going to be troubling. Although people still have faith in Treasury Secretary Paulson, there's a sense that maybe there ought to be a move more quickly. Larry Summers, we should mention as well, was a candidate for Treasury and seems not to have gotten that position, but has been brought in a more strategic role, we might say, a more intellectual role as an advisor. Whereas Geithner is going to be playing a role as with knowledge of the operational details of the bailout in the banking industry. And so we have reason to believe that this might work well, although, again, uncertainty abounds.
Well, clearly the auto bailout is the hot topic on Capitol Hill right now. What can the president-elect and his team do, and how big an issue is this for the Obama administration?
It's a huge issue, and the reason it's a huge issue is first because it's a lot of money, and second because it signals what the Obama administration may face in this incoming recession. And if they bail out auto, why not tractors? Why not some other industry? And there's a sense that ideologically this is problematic. Republicans, interestingly enough, do not want to bail out the auto industry. We would prefer bankruptcy, whereas Democrats would like to bail out the auto industry. And it seems to me that behind this there is the question of unions, because the unions have what they call legacy costs, that is the pensions and the health care costs that have come from earlier generations. And in a way, the General Motors and Ford and others have used this as a game of chicken that they're playing. with the unions, in the sense that those things, that money that could have been given to them then is now being used, has been loaned. It is not being sent as a reason why they can't compete with Toyota and others. So this debate over the unions, over what's called card check that Obama has supported, is a big issue. And ideologically, I think it's going to be very troubling for Obama to juggle this as he moves forward.
Absolutely. A number of the key Obama appointments are from the Clinton era, and of course there's Hillary Clinton as Secretary of State. Is this more than mending fences in the Democratic Party, do you think?
I think so. I think that it shows that if you think about Hillary Clinton, there's an irony here that she was that the reason that Obama won in the nomination contest was that he opposed the Iraq War. And here, the person who's going to handle his foreign policy, the Secretary of State, will be Hillary Clinton. A kind of an interesting situation. And National Security Advisor James Jones is also this kind of a figure, a little more hawkish. So I think the lesson there is that the hawks and the doves of the early 70s are no longer separate. The Democratic Party has come together. The divisions that emerged after the 60s might be somewhat behind us. Now, Obama only has so long before the liberals are going to start to, the honeymoon will be over, and they'll start to say, how are you going to deliver? Where's the change? We're believing, but give us the change. We'll see how long it takes for that to manifest.
Solon Simmons, thank you so much for your insights. Much appreciated.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.